Precious Metal Summit 2022 in Zurich here, and we want to talk to Defiance Silver now, and Chris Wright, the CEO, is here with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Defiance Silver, you guys are in Mexico, I saw in the presentation. You have Zacatecas and Tepa. So what's going on there? Let's start with Zacatecas.
Lots going on. We've been very active. We've been drilling for the last 2 years. Actually, we got a new drill right on site 10 days ago, so we're into hole number 2. Very encouraged. We've had some very good results out since we started this process in the end of 2020. Good resource building holes coming out of Zacatecas, which is our legacy land package there. And then the land that we picked up through an option agreement with Pan American Silver at the end of 2020, which we call Lucita. We've put the first drill holes into that the end of last year, into early this year, and with some very, very encouraging results.
Super. Can you give us some ideas about the grades, what we are talking about?
Well, actually, in Lucita and the first pass, we actually have drilled the highest grade results that have been drilled in the camp in 2 decades, and the highest grade that our company's ever drilled on the property. So in some cases, over 3 kilos per ton.
Oha, well, that's a lot, I would say. Fantastic. Yeah. You have already, I think, a resource for Zacatecas of approximately 17 million ounces. When will we see the next resource update?
Yeah, that's an old resource from, I think it predates 2014. It was done well before my involvement with the company. We've done about 25,000 meters of drilling since then, which has not been tabled into a new resource. It is on our list of achievables, coming in the year ahead. We do want to get to an internal target of approximately 50 million ounces before we update that resource. We want it to be meaningful.
Okay, super. And let's say in the bigger picture, you want to bring that into production?
No.
Someday? No.
No. We recognize the fact that our strength is in exploration, and being an explorer and being a producer are 2 very, very different games. It takes a different skill set. It takes a very different balance sheet. And our objective here is to add ounces, build value for our shareholders. The reality is that when the sector does eventually turn back up, we know from history that, as they say, the rising tide lifts all boats. We just want to be in one of the nicest boats in the area.
So you make the bride look good.
Yeah, well, that's what we have to do. Yeah, add ounces, and get it to a point so that in a good market, we're able to monetize this for our investors one way or another, whether that's through a joint venture, a spin out, a transaction. And frankly, we spent a lot of time and effort, doing things like this to try and improve the liquidity on our stock. Investors will look for companies that they can not only get into but can get out of, and that's the whole purpose here, is to create shareholder value.
Okay, super. Shareholder value, I think you want to create also with Tepal, your second project. You have an older PEA already on that, which I think looks not so bad, and it's gold copper. That's also interesting. It
is different. It's a very different project. It's being worked for many years by some very big companies. It does have a PEA dating back to 2017, so it's a little bit stale. The numbers were run at $1,250 gold and $250 copper.
Very conservative for today.
Well, very conservative. And the economics on those numbers were very attractive. The after-tax NPV on that project was almost $170 million US. When we update the model to $1,500 gold and $3 copper, that number more than doubles to $345 million.
Super. And I think you also but the PEA showed like 79,000 ounces gold production and 32 million pounds of copper. So that looks to me like a very solid mine.
It is a solid mine, and it's got a little tidy economic model on it. Even though it is a bit stale, reasonable capex of $214 million. Now, we fully recognize that capex number is going to go up. Obviously, inflation has been an issue, but we think that we know that the commodity price movement will more than make up for that. Ultimately, our goal is, and we've been doing a lot of work to re-engineer that, is to get it to 100,000 ounce gold production, annual gold production over the life of mine, a minimum mine life of 10 years.
Okay, super. What would be next step for you? Because PEA is fine. It's a little bit outdated, of course, as you said, but will we see there maybe something like a pre-feas, or is it the same thing? You say, okay, we bring it up and then we look for a partner?
I think ultimately, this is a project that will end up in the hands of a producer. We'll get it there. We have some work to do. Clearly we actually have an ongoing litigation case on the property now. We ran into a little bit of trouble, unexpected trouble with some the titles that were illegally transferred into a third party's name.
Okay.
So we've managed to freeze the titles legally through the courts, and we're pursuing all our legal options there to regain proper registration of those titles in our name. So we have full support of the government in this.
No, that's important.
And that's something that's ongoing. Unfortunately, because it's active litigation, there's a limited amount we can say, and it's difficult to predict a timeline simply because you're at the mercy of the courts.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with your company. You did everything right. Everything from your side was in good shape, so you fulfilled everything, right?
Absolutely, everything was in good standing. All the payments were made. The work was done. There was absolutely no neglect on the company's part. This was just a criminal act that was done by some individuals or a group in Mexico that they fraudulently transferred by manufacturing illegal documents, and so it's one of those things that there's a good legal system there, and we'll use that to regain proper registration.
Yeah, I'm sure you will succeed because you did nothing wrong, right? So, okay, what is cash in the bank?
The end of this month will be $10.3 million.
Oh, that's a lot of money. So you are pretty set up for next year.
Our budget is comfortable for the next 12 months.
Super, fantastic. Who are the largest shareholders and what has management, of course?
Actually, my fund company, Windermere Capital, is the largest shareholder with almost 20%. Insiders own approximately another 5%. And I would say that there's a good cross-section of institutional shareholders that own another 10 to 15%. So all told, about 40% tightly held.
In good hands. Super. All right. Then we wish you all the best for 2023. Keep it going. And show us Tepal as a nice future mine, I would say.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it was Chris Wright, the CEO of Defiance Silver, and you heard it, Zacatecas and Tepal, two interesting projects with Tepal, a little bit more advanced, of course, and probably this might be one of the next mines. As Chris said, they want to bring that up maybe then to 100,000 ounces gold plus a large amount of copper. Company has over $10 million in the bank, and what I really like is over 25% are really tightly held with management and Chris' company also, and they have approximately 15% are in addition with institutions. So that's what we want to see. Check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Zurich.